One now. All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. I want to definitely acknowledge that today is Arab American Heritage Month. My name is Kyle Tribble, and I serve as Director of Culture and Community Engagement here at the District's DEI office. And I'm very grateful for you all taking the time to view this video and welcome you to the Equity in Practice session. So this month, we celebrate Arab American Heritage Month, where it's a great opportunity to uplift the student perspective and also learn more about the Arab American community and culture. So we're hopeful to do that today with our two guests. So I'm going to hand it over to our guests to give just a little bit more, tell their names and give a little bit more about themselves. And they are also leaders in Temple University's Arab Student Society. So we'll hear a little bit more about that as well. So I guess I could pass it off to Salma first for introductions.
Hi, I'm Salma. I'm a junior Temple student, and I'm majoring in MIS, which is Management Information Systems, with a minor in computer science. I'm the president and co-founder of the Temple Arab Society.
Hi, I'm Yara. I am a senior health professions major on the pre-pharm track. I am one of the digital marketing chairs for Temple Arab Society, excuse me.
Nice, nice. Thank you both for that. So I guess we could jump right into the conversation. So the goal is to uplift the Arab community, talk a little bit more about culture, traditions, and just learn a little bit more about the community as a whole. So I'll start with the first question, and I'll direct it to Salma first. So Salma, the first question I have is, how has your identity as an Arab American shaped your personal values, traditions, and or the work you do today?
In a lot of ways, honestly, my identity is Arab American, and it's kind of being able to balance both worlds because I am Egyptian, but I also grew up in America. But also my parents are like Egyptian immigrants that came here. And so we still speak like the language at home, and I still visit my home country every summer. But so yeah, I honestly owe my like Arab American identity to everything. Like that's who I am as a person. I'm a person with a different mix of cultures. And yeah.
And I could pass that to you, Yara. I'll repeat the question for you. So how has your identity as an Arab American shaped your personal values, traditions, and or the work you do today?
So I am Syrian American, so it's a little bit different. I resonate with some of what Salma said, but also I feel like with being Arab American comes a struggle and like not being able to return to your homeland and not being able to see family and like that long distance relationship. So there's definitely a struggle, but also like constantly trying to get connected with my identity. So yeah, there's some perseverance there that is involved.
Absolutely. I appreciate that from you both. Um, so I want to move to this next question, which I think is also important. We could start with you, Yara. So can you share some like key aspects of an Arab American culture and traditions that are important for people to know? That can include community members, but for this particular video, some school district members as well. But do you have anything you feel as though is important to know in that regard?
So right away, I'd say family is the heart of Arab American culture and traditions. For me, my family has been my biggest support system in this country. My parents have helped me stay connected to my roots by teaching me Arabic, um, playing Arabic music, teaching me how to dance, like our traditional dance called dabke, and then also even like introducing us to like Syrian games that we play with the family. So without them sharing this to me, I wouldn't have known any of it. Additionally, I feel like we are big on hospitality, and it's very, very rare for an Arab American household to not offer a three-course meal of coffee, sweets, and tea. Breaking bread is definitely a way for Arab American communities to connect. So.
No, I appreciate that. Salma, do you have any thoughts on that particular question as
Yeah, no,
well?
I that was perfect, honestly. And she like I agree with her about family because when you come to America, there's so many like cultures, it's like they say like a melting pot. And so it's like easy to get mixed up and some people like some Arabs it's not really easily accessible to go visit your home country. Like I'm fortunate enough to be able to, but obviously there's wars going on, there's just all these issues in the world. So it's not really easy to be able to visit all the time. So just keeping connected with your culture through family is like the most important thing to really just like be Arab, honestly. Because if you don't, if you don't have family and you don't speak the language at home and like she said, you don't learn the games and all that, like it just gets like lost and you kind of like forget that part about you.
No, I really appreciate those thoughtful answers. I want to follow up with a additional question, if I may. So in the event, um, even with myself and with different school district staff, they interact with folks, Arab Americans who are older, and like parents and things like that. What would you say to keep in mind when interacting with Arab American families, elders, and things like that? Are there any things or any advice that teachers and other school district staff should keep in mind in that regard?
I feel like the language barrier, honestly, because a lot of
Good
Arab
point.
Americans, it's kind of hard. Like my parents, they've been here for 20 plus years and they still have like a thick accent. So I feel like keeping that in mind and also keeping in mind that, like she said, hospitality is like a big thing. Sometimes we can come off aggressive, but we're literally just trying to be like just, hospitable. But that's in my opinion. Yeah.
I think it's like important to recognize the individuality of the different Arab communities, to prevent stereotypes. For example, assumptions like all Arabs are Muslims and like all Arabs are wealthy have like emerged from the lack of awareness about us in the Arab world, and also recognizing that there's diversity within our Arab community. Like the group of countries called the Levant, which consists of Syria, Palestine, Jordan, and Lebanon, and how they differ from North African countries. So yeah.
Oh, great answers. I really appreciate that. So I have our next question is, I'm pretty sure you both are like mentors to other Temple students, especially within the Arab Student Society. How important is it for young Arab Americans to see representation in public service spaces, such as education, but in leadership in general?
It's so important. I feel like that's why I wanted to start the club with my friend is because I had like when I came here to Temple freshman year, I mean, growing up in America in general, I never had Arab friends. Like the Arab friends I have aren't even from America, they're from Egypt. So I grew up just around like different, cultures and races, just everything but Arab, honestly. And surprisingly enough, I feel like also the cultures I grew up around were the ones that resonated the most to me. So like Hispanics and like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, because they are like similar in terms of like how they're raised. And I felt like that's why I also became closer with them. And there was no Arabs around my area. And so when I came to Temple first year, I was like, okay, this is like I thought things would change in college. I didn't really branch out and I didn't see any Arabs right off the bat. And then sophomore year, that's when I met my friend Zena and we were like, okay, like let's, because we seen all the other schools around us, like at in Philly, like Drexel, UPenn, Jefferson, they all had like at least some sort of Arab community that didn't have to do with religion. And we wanted to do something like that, create something like that. And I feel like just from this past year, we've had like a really good impact. We've been able to like just organize these nice events, whether it just be social or like what is it? Philanthropy,
Yeah.
like events. It's just events for people to come together and be like, oh, I didn't know that there was this many Egyptians or this many Syrians on campus and like get to connect with one another.
No, I
Um,
appreciate that. Yara, do you have any thoughts on that particular question as
yes, I
well?
do like to add to that. I think it's like very important for Arab Americans to have a safe space to connect with each other, for emotional support, to combat isolation, to build confidence and promote their culture. As a first-generation American growing up in the greater Philadelphia area, I struggled to connect with my classmates. And being Middle Eastern and Muslim has made me a target for bullying as a kid, which took a serious toll on my mental health. Looking back, I know that having an Arab American community at school would have made a huge difference, and it would have turned my grade school experience into something more positive and something that every kid deserves. When I moved to Philadelphia to attend Temple University, I was very impressed by the diversity around me. I joined Temple Arab Society during the last spring of my final year, or last spring semester of this year. And I wish I had discovered it sooner, or it was made it was around
Yeah.
sooner, sorry. Throughout this community has formed meaningful friendships for me, and with people I can truly relate to, and I'm much happier, and it just confirms that that's what I always needed, like a sense of community. So yeah.
Nice, nice. I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna move on to our next question. And Yara, you already kind of hinted at it a bit. But I want to see if we can just speak a little bit more about why is it important for Arab American students to have that safe space and connect with each other? You both, as you mentioned, are in the Arab Student Society and doing a lot of great work. So can you just speak to like the importance of that and just creating that space for each other?
Yeah, sure. I think that safe spaces allow Arab American students to express themselves without the fear of misunderstanding or judgment. It's where they can share experiences that are often marginalized, whether it's dealing with Islamophobia, racism, or other cultural disconnect. These spaces build confidence, foster leadership, and cultivate a sense of belonging. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have some, like she said, it's really easy to get the misconception that all Arabs are Muslim or whatever, like mixed up, which is why it was important for us to be like, no, like Arabs are Arab. You don't have to put like a title of religion, and we can just be all just people that share similar cultures. And I feel like that's what also like is important to have like a space for religion where people can be comfortable to do that, but also aside from religion, like let's separate that and just celebrate our culture.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate that. Um, so now I wanna shift a tad bit to those who may not be as familiar with Arab American heritage and culture traditions. So we can start with you, Salma. What role can education play in fostering more understanding and appreciation for Arab American heritage? Do you have any thoughts
A
on that?
lot. Yeah, I feel like a lot. There could be a lot done. Like honestly, I didn't even know Arab American Heritage Month existed until I came to Temple. And especially this year being involved with like the Arab Society is when I started getting like a lot of outreach from like to do panels and stuff for Arab American Heritage Month. But growing up, like same like as Yara, like in the greater Philadelphia area, like there's no like the school system just doesn't teach that, but they will teach like other traditions and other holidays and other months and but they won't. I've never heard of it. And even my little brother, he's 7 right now, and he hasn't came home once this month being like, oh, look what my teacher gave me at school for Arab American Heritage Month. So I feel like that's important. Like tell a story, like read a book, tell that, like have a day just dedicated out of the whole month. Like you have one day out of the whole month that you can teach kids, what it means to be Arab, and try to also like steer away from the stereotypes, because if those kids grow up knowing nothing but what they hear around them, they're gonna grow up to believe in the stereotypes. And also with the kids that are Arab, they're gonna grow up and just not have a sense of belonging within their culture and community.
Yeah, I agree with everything
Great
said.
point. Great
Yeah.
point. Yeah, well, do you have any thoughts on that particular question?
No, to be honest, I agree with everything. That was completely well
Nice.
spoken. Yeah.
Nice, absolutely. So yeah, so something this question is sim on a similar track, and I can start with you, Yara. So, what advice would you give to schools, or not even just schools, but community members as well, that want to celebrate Arab American Heritage Month, but they want to do it in a respectful way and they want to do it in an accurate way as well? Do you have any thoughts on how that can be done?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to involve Arab voices from the start. and to not plan for us, but to plan with us, highlighting diversity within the community, showcasing literature, artwork, cuisine. Those are all ways that we can go about it, and to make a space for critical conversations about identity and history. And yeah.
Nice, nice. I appreciate that. Salma, do you have any thoughts on that particular question?
I mean, I agree with her, and honestly, with like communities and schools, especially in the Philadelphia area, since, you know, universities such as Temple, Jefferson, like all these universities are really easily accessible. And like I said, we have now multiple platforms for like Arab communities within these universities. It could be as easy as reaching out and just asking for advice, like, hey, we want to plan something, but would you be able to give us a little bit more insight? Like, and I'm sure that one out of these like hundreds of clubs would be able to like just
Yeah.
help these schools.
Like exactly what you guys are doing. So
Yeah,
I
like this is
appreciate
perfect.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. That sounds good. Yeah, so I have another question. I think I have like two or three more, but for this question, I want to talk about mentorship a little bit. How important is mentorship in the Arab American community, and not even just in the community, in the smaller community with you all being on at Temple? How important is mentorship, and how does the support how does it support the growth of students of all ages?
I think personally it's important, especially for, you know, because at Temple or in universities in general now, there's a mix of, you know, Arab Americans and just Arabs that are international students. And like that also is like a really like important like, you know, relationship. Like it's important for us to help out our Arabs that aren't American, that this is new to them, that just like the culture and the environment is new to them. And especially with everything going on now, like it's important for us to be able to help these people and navigate them through like just the challenges that they might face coming into a different country and, you know, in a culture that they've never experienced before.
And like even being a US born citizen, like I found that there were struggles growing up with not like understanding certain things, like how to take out loans for school or like certain things that my parents don't already know of. So
Yeah.
like I have to
Right.
educate myself and they have to, and then I have to educate my parents. So like to help others, like I feel like is very, very important.
That's actually so true. I love that. Wait,
Oh,
yeah.
thanks.
Because also like applying to college, I
Yeah, I
no
didn't-
clue because our parents did go to college and everything, but
Not
college is
here.
not here. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of like
Right.
my mom was like, okay, did you apply? And I'm like, yeah.
But I don't know how to.
yeah, and it's like now I'm trying to be a mentor for my brother who's
Exactly.
applying to college and so forth. And so that is very like important. Like
Yeah.
it's good to like if we try to like find a way where we can connect Arab students with maybe
Yeah.
Arab college students with like Arab high schoolers and try to help those
100%.
like help
To
them
pass
out.
down advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Oh, that
sometimes the
sounds
advisor
amazing.
isn't enough.
No,
And we're
that
so
that 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 is a great point.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Yara.
We're so willing to do that, by the way, if you guys need any help with your
Nice,
kids.
absolutely. I definitely appreciate that. That those are all great points. And like we're talking about mentorship and what's needed on that end, but also to for those who want to learn more and would like different resources, like what are some resources, maybe organizations in Philadelphia that you two would recommend for people wanting to learn more about Arab American culture, traditions, and history? This could be literature, a podcast, or even organizations. Just any resource for folks that may want to learn more.
I mean, to start off from Temple, you can come to the Temple Arab Society events because they're open to anyone and everyone, students, Arabs, non-Arabs, everybody.
Families.
Yeah, families. We
Yeah.
had families at our last
Yeah.
events. So I'd start off with that. Also, we have another great organization on campus called MENA, and that's catered specifically to the Middle Eastern, North African, like region.
Mhm.
So for Temple, in terms of Temple, I'd start with that. And even if kids just want to come and have fun. In Philly, there's some great resources like the Arab American Community Development Corporation. I would do that. And yeah, there's a lot of events hosted by this corporation in Philadelphia. But yeah.
Yeah. And there's also an organization called El Bustan Seeds of Culture, and that's located in West Philly. And it's a cute little I don't know how to explain it. Like a little you can go and like meet Arabs, like they have books for you to read, and like it's very welcoming. And we also have Care Philadelphia, and they'll like host events to educate.
Nice,
Also,
nice.
just going out and there's a lot of, I feel like restaurants too, like Middle Eastern restaurants. Just start with the food, like the easiest thing.
Nice, nice. Do you have any? Do you have any that you all would recommend?
Oh, I love Soraya. Soraya is really good. It's
Soraya.
Lebanese cuisine. What else?
Cilantros, I like
Cilantro's
cilantros.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, nice. They do say like learning about a culture a lot of times starts with the food, it starts with the
Yeah.
people. So
Because when you go to the restaurant, you automatically start hearing music, you start seeing people speaking the language. Like it's just really
Some will
like
come out and dance for you.
nice, nice. No, I really appreciate that. I mean, we have like 4 minutes left, but I guess in the last 4 minutes, I would love to just know just a little bit more detail. You mentioned the events that the Arab Student Society does at Temple. Could you all just kind of give a little bit more insight on the organization at Temple, and also to along with that, I guess touch on just like its importance across the board for you all. So I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, this club was really started, it was started this year, so it's a new organization. And it was started just to create a sense of belonging for the Arab students at Temple. And just through, at first, we were thinking maybe just like social events, but now we've grown past that and we're doing collaborations with like things like UMR, which is the United Missions Relief Club on campus. And we did like a banquet and we raised funds for autism initiatives in Syria. And we also just like to do just fun things, just anything that will just have the people come together, eat some food, have fun. And we also try to slip in ways where we can help the community through these events, like maybe like raise money and stuff. And our last event was just, we just had our last event actually, and it went great. And like she said, like so many people pulled up, families, everything. It was at FDR. So we're now trying to also do like off-campus events so it can be
Oh,
more
nice.
accessible to others. Yeah, and other people came, like other schools, Drexel, like anyone could honestly come. It's just to create a sense of belonging. It doesn't have to be specifically at Temple, but it's great, obviously, to create a way for Temple Arab students to, you know, be able to come together and realize, okay, like I'm not alone. Like I literally had a girl come up to me at our first event and being like, I didn't know there was Arabs here. Like I was scared to come at first. I was like, girl, there's Arabs and there's Egyptians because she was Egyptian. I was like, there's a lot of Egyptians too. Like, so yeah, I feel like that's like my main purpose of really like working on this club and growing this club is because I just wanted to have something like Yara said, like something that me and her didn't really have throughout our time at Temple.
I agree.
Nice. I really can appreciate that. Yara, do you have any particular thoughts on that question too?
I will say one of our events this year, which happened to be my favorite, was the collab with MSA, which is the Muslim Student Association, and Temple Arab Society,
UMR, yeah, it was a
the
lot of
Afghan Student Association. Who else?
so
Yeah, so
like
many
it was just
people.
a lot of clubs on campus.
Yeah, and it was for Ramadan, and so it was for Muslims and non-Muslims, Arabs and non-Arabs to come and eat good food and break our fast together. Even, you know, if those, you know, weren't fasting, they, you know, they're obviously welcome to come. So it was really, really nice. We had how many people?
Over like 200 people.
Over 200
and it was
people.
Nice.
wasn't just Muslims, it was everybody. And it
So
was
all the
Nice.
of every e-board made food, and it was just a great time overall. And
and it was in the student center, and also things like in the student center events and stuff like that, they're accessible to everyone. So as long as you're respectful, you can, you know, just come and have a good time, then
everything's free of charge. So
yeah.
Nice, nice. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at 12:30, so I want to respect you all's time. I just also want to say I really appreciate you both for joining and being able to have this conversation, and also just for being leaders as well. So I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate like all of the thoughtful insights that you provided. So this will be on YouTube, on our DEI YouTube page. I'll be sure to share that with you all. just so you're able to view. And I'll also be connecting with Professor Creedy tomorrow as well to get some more insights. So most likely we'll put all that together. But yeah, I really appreciate the time, and thanks for everything.
Thank you for having us.
us.